And then kind of also going down to the secret list here of things that are coming soon is quick join. And that's, there's two words that I'm not supposed to say. It's not this and this, it's quick join.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So quick join, the idea is kind of following on my train of thought here with dedicated servers. The idea is find me the best possible connection, find me the best game, find me the game that has the lowest ping and also the most players. It's really easy if you're a savvy player to see how we can extend that and say, well, fine, what does best game mean? Is that best skill, best stats, best experience? See how I'm avoiding those words?
It's beautiful. You've done this before.
So, so anyways, we're definitely looking to make it as easy as possible to get into game. Again, trying to avoid we want to have 10,000 possible servers out there, but it's just totally annoying to have to parse through a list like that.
We're chatty right now, but they're not asking any questions.
I'm glad they're having fun.
I know.
Other localizations are good.
Yeah, no, that's actually what I was going to ask. Localization in the future.
Yes, we are localizing. It's actually interesting over. I'm just giving away all the secrets. Over half of our audience right now is outside of the continental United States, and so we definitely value the international audience, and we appreciate the fact that even when English isn't their first language, that they're able to talk with us. Mm-hmm. And we are going to be offering more localized versions. It's not going to happen in the next couple of months. It's really just becomes a matter of priority, and those are the choices I have to make. When people say, well, I want stat tracking, it's like, okay, well, I can get a web developer working on stat tracking, or I can get a web developer on creating a site in German. What's a higher priority? Stat tracking.
Yeah.
True story.
Move on. Only One Bravo, is IA due for a big overhaul, redesign before release?
Yeah, so it's a trick question because there's the thing called the beta label on there, which everyone inside the company hates. We've tired of beta. Yeah. We're ready for live. So don't be surprised if you log in someday and the beta label has just mystically disappeared, and that's the only thing.
Yeah.
What changed? Nothing. We're not in beta.
We're just not beta anymore.
Yeah, it's great.
I figure you've got a few thousand people online and everyone's having fun, then you're probably not beta anymore. Yeah. That said, and I think there's been talk about this on the forums too, we are working on IA2, which is a major overhaul. It's not just going to be an aesthetic one. There's going to be a lot of features that people have been waiting for, and we're excited about it. But it's, I think the main thing too is we're also taking it really slow. And so whether or not we decide to take the beta label off before we implement IA2, or we keep it on there and then we go, bang, look, here's a new site, we'll see.
That actually brings up a question that somebody just asked when we went into it. What are the plans for IA2?
What are the plans for IA2? So I think I can give you kind of the philosophical part of IA2. The thing that I really appreciate about the community is how dedicated they are to even finding the forums.
Yeah. They're easy to find.
Yeah, it's just a click away in the bottom right-hand corner.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we want IA2 to be is a lot more community-focused. So a lot of the features that we're building into IA2 is a way to make the community more obvious, both with groups, teams, management, the forums, keeping updates on your friends and what your friends are playing and what your friends are doing.
Which is another question that was just asked. Will there be a recent player friends list?
Yes.
Okay.
How about that?
There we go. That's perfect.
Yeah.
We even got that on video. That's
there's evidence.
Yeah. You said.
Yeah. Is there going to be a standalone IA browser? Possibly a pay-to-use option.
Right.
Thanks, Golf.
So we've talked about it a lot. Technically, it's not that hard. It's not a priority for us. people have, it's an interesting thing because it also depends on the type of game that you play and also your experience playing games. Hardcore players who are used to going down to Walmart and buying a box want to continue to do that. You're like, I like to have a box. I want to own a box. Personally, I'm one of those. So I like the ownership. The interesting thing about that, and I've thought a lot about this, and we've talked a lot about why is it good to own the box, is because I don't know if I'm going to play 20 hours this month and maybe not at all for 2 months and then come back to it a year later and then be totally into it for a while. And so when you have a box, you can come and play whatever you want. So the corollary to that is actually setting a price so that you don't feel that you got ripped off if you only played for an hour for a month. And so that's where we're trying to balance it out. The other thing about offline play, about why it's not a real big priority to us, is because we think the thing that's really cool about instant action is actually talking with and playing with other people in real time, and that's not really what offline play is about. So if we get games that have really compelling single player modes that make sense to play offline, or you know, we're working on asynchronous games. See, another secret.
Listen, you keep your track. That's 4 secrets.
That's right.
Yeah.
So asynchronous games would, you know, it might make more sense to make that a priority. But like I said, it's not, of all of the technical challenges in front of us, it's not a big one. It's just not a high priority.
Australian dedicated servers, Global World Legions dedicated servers, community servers.
So is it Rogue or Rouge?
It's Rouge.
It's Rouge. I remember that there was a thread about that, about which way it was. So Rouge and I have actually been exchanging emails. Yes, I'm working on Australian dedicated servers. Yeah. Woot. Yay. All I need is a hosting partner at this point. So that's one of the things I do in 10 Wins or Less is, you know, work with all the data centers and hosting partners. And so I just have to find a vendor that we want to work with.
Sounds easy.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Will we be implementing auto-kicking people that are away on dedicated servers so that they're not tying up spots? ST guy.
Yeah, we've actually talked about it. I don't know, I'd be interested in community feedback to see how big of a problem it is.
Yeah.
My perception is that it's annoying, but on a 16-player or 32-player game,
One person.
you know, it's like, eh. But we actually track it. I mean, we actually implemented, again, listening to the community feedback. When we first launched the site, there was no way of telling whether or not someone was actually AFK. And so we implemented the idle feature, so that, you know, after you walk away from the computer, it actually marks you as away. So it would be fairly easy for us, once a person is marked as away, if they're on a dedicated server, to kick them.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you think it's important, then speak up about it in the forums.
And somebody actually just mentioned using the same auto-away script to kick them.
Hey, cool.
I don't know, good timing.
Yeah.
Can we get an estimate of the number of games coming to IA through December?
Ooh, through December. Well, actually, that's really easy, because
I know,
I think we've already announced most of them, so 3.
3. 1 a month.
Yeah, pretty much one a month. And I'll say at least.
At least.
At least.
Good. How much will Legions cost when it's released as a full version? That's funny.
Yeah. There's all kinds of threads on that on there, so I'm not going to comment on what the final pricing is going to be. I think we actually want to hear more from the community about what you're willing to pay.